By the time you're watching this video, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro would have already been launched. But as you can see by the background, we're not there because we were allowed to drive the Tiggo 7 Pro 2 days before its launch date. And we're here to tell you all about it. Hi, my name is Shahril and this is the drive and launch of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Alright, so we've actually done a walk around of the Tiggo 7 Pro, which AIMAN did it, and you can catch it right up here. However, the one that we were looking at previously was the CBU model. Now the CKD actually comes with 3 differences, and all those 3 differences are actually inside the car, and I'll tell you about it in a bit. But let's quickly go through the exterior of the car as a refresher. So at the front, you get this gigantic grille with these diamond pins, and looking at the diamond pins closely, it kind of resembles the Chery's logo. Flanking the grille is a set of full LED headlights. Now moving down to the bumper, you've got your LED fog lights, a bit of chrome, this little blue and black plastic cladding at the bottom of the bumper, which makes it look really great. Now moving down to the side of the car, as you can see, that little black cladding that connects the front bumper all the way to the rear. Rolling stock is handled by a set of 18-inch alloy wheels wrapped in Atlas A51 tyres. We will tell you about the tyre performance in a bit during the driving session. It's adequate to me, but I'll explain it later as we are driving. Moving down the side even more, you get a lot of chrome around the window sills as well as on the door handle, and you get the lock and unlock button, which is not really a button and it's a touch sensor actually. And on top of the car, you get this roof rail. Now moving to the rear of the car, you get the Chery inscription at the top here, and underneath that you get a full LED light bar. Now flanking that LED light bar, connecting the two, is at the end here is a set of combination tail lights. I really wish they were fully LEDs, but what can you do? Now on the bottom here you get the Tiggo 7 Pro badge, and on the other side you get the 290T badge there. Now the thing that I really like at the back here is actually this integrated spoiler with the third brake light at the top here. But inside that spoiler you can see there's this little blue motif, or this little blue plastic strip here, which I feel kind of makes the car look a little good, and it kind of mirrors the blue color cladding, not really cladding, the blue color accents that you get at the front bumper there with the back, which I think is really cool. Now behind this powered tailgate, now at the back here you do get an adequate amount of space. I feel that you can fit about 6 cabin size luggages at the back here, enough for a weekend getaway or groceries for a family of 5. You do get a tonneau cover to cover all your valuables from prying eyes. What else you get at the back here? You get a couple of hooks here to hang stuff. You get a light as well as a 12-volt socket on the left-hand side here. Now, underneath the boot floor, you get a full-size wheel. Yes, you heard me right, a full-size wheel. Just in case that, you know, during your adventures you get a flat, no one will ever be the wiser. Now, as I mentioned before, the CKD models will have 3 items that is different than the preview version of the CBU preview version that we have here. So let's take a look inside and I'll tell you what those are. Now inside the Tiggo 7 Pro, it is expected. What you get inside here is quite expected because there's a lot of things in this car that is a combination of the Tiggo 8 as well as the Omoda E5. So we'll take a look at the layout first. The layout, pretty straightforward, right? You've got your gigantic screen in front of you, you've got your aircon controls here, a couple of cup holders here, you've got, you know, all your controls at the center here, and controls on the steering wheel. Now, everything, when in terms of material, I think they've kind of nailed it down because everything from the top of the door cut here is quite soft and pliant. Even at the center here is soft and pliant, and even on the dashboard here, this is usually the bits where manufacturers tend to cut cost a bit by putting really harsh plastics here because you're not going to be touching this often, but I'm very surprised that this is actually very, very, very pliant. It's only when you get at the bottom, somewhere around the cup holder, door card here is when things get a little scratchy. But it's fine. Even the center console bit here, it's a bit of scratchy plastic, right? But at least the top here is kind of like covered by the leather. And yes, of course, you do get leather seats inside this car. Now, I mentioned 3 things that will be different for this CKD model. So we'll start from here first. As you can see, the rear view mirror for the CBU preview model we have here has this really thick black color bezel around it. But for the CKD model, it will come with a bezel-less rear view mirror. Now, in terms of the seats, right now the CBU model comes with only heated seats, but the CKD model will come with heated and ventilated seats, which is very, very useful here in our country. And the third and final thing that will be different from the CBU model that we have here, the CKD model will launch with memory seat function. Thank you very much for that. Now, all of this in the car has already been covered by AIMAN in our preview video. So today, the difference is I'm going to be testing out the car to see how it's like to drive. So, shall we? Alright, so we're now in the Tiggo 7 Pro, and off the bat, first thing that I realize, you sit quite high up, really. Because just looking over the bonnet right now, just looking outside, you get to see the kind of like arches of the hood. So it kind of makes you feel you're driving quite a big car. But the car does not feel like you're driving one. I mean, you put your foot down and the car just... Wow. That's quite interesting. Let's talk about the powertrain. So this car comes with a 1.6 litre TGDI engine, pushing out 197 PS of power and 290 Newton meters of torque. All of that torque is managed by a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which seems to be quite more than capable on the highway, really. We just hit the highway. Before the highway, we were actually in a little town area. So let's talk about the highway driving first, because that's where we are right now. It is very comfortable. Power is not lacking whatsoever. And let me see if I push it just a little bit more. Okay, as long as you stick to, national highway speeds, NVH levels doesn't seem to be an issue. Tire roar is quite suppressed. You do hear quite a bit of wind noise. But that is kind of expected for something of this size, traveling about 120 or so. But as long as you stick to regular highway speeds, the NVH levels is quite suppressed. North of that, you're gonna get quite a bit of tire roar, you're gonna get quite a bit of wind noise. I guess it's kind of to be expected for a car this size. Right, in terms of handling, it's kind of expected of a car this size to have a little bit of body lean as you're trying to get into a corner. The car does feel like it is geared towards comfort more. I've been trying to drive over potholes and hitting speed bumps at with a bit more speed, just to see how the suspension's like, and it feels to me that it's geared more towards comfort. In terms of the steering modes, you've got your comfort and you've got sport mode. Driving in town on comfort mode, it's the steering wheel is light. Like I think you can actually drive it with like 1-2 fingers. You can actually turn the steering wheel around, which is to be expected when you are in traffic jam situations and you want to reduce that fatigue on driving through traffic jams. You put it into comfort mode and just relax, really, because the car is quite comfortable. These seats are quite plush. Climate control is doing its thing. Yes, of course, you have dual zone climate control. So overall, driving through traffic in the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is quite an experience. It's a very comfortable experience. Putting this car into sport steering mode, you'd think that there'd be a significant difference, but not really. The steering wheel is communicative enough enough, even in sport mode. Like, it's not overly weighted. You know how some cars that when you put into sports mode, it tends to be overly weighted just to give you that sense of control. But in this one, yes, there's a bit of weight. I mean, the steering wheel is not completely dead, but there are some dead spots there where you may not want to drive this car in with like full intent. I mean, it is an SUV, so you're not meant to drive it with full intent anyway. We are looking forward to getting this car on like full 1 week tests, because to be honest, the driving experience of about 10 minutes or so, it's enough to give us a taste, but not enough for us to make a full conclusion on how we think all of this is going to work in the real world. But I mean, it is just the launch, right? So we'll catch you guys in a bit. Now, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro comes with a plethora of ADAS features, including things like autonomous emergency braking, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot monitoring, etc, etc. I think Aiman has already covered this in the previous video. Now, the starting price for the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro can be seen on the screen right now, with of course the warranty period the same as your Tiggo 8 Pro, your Omoda 5, your Omoda E5 and what have you. And of course, there will be early bird packages or launch price packages, as you can see on the screen as well. So what do you guys think of the new Chery Tiggo 7 Pro? Do you think this is going to be the next car that you are going to buy? Sound off in the comments section below. In any case, thank you very much for watching the launch coverage and driving experience of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon to be updated on future videos. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and WhatsApp. All the links are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I know the next video you're going to be seeing Aiman again in front of the screen. So as always, take care and stay safe.